publication, said evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable. Professor Louis Bonheur said evolution is a fairy tale for grown-ups. The theory has helped nothing in the progress of science. It is useless. Malcolm Muggeridge said, I'm convinced the theory of evolution will be one of the great jokes in the history books of the future. Evolution is a dying religion, and all religions die hard. I mean, when they burn people at the stake for daring to suggest the Earth was not the center of the solar system. And as evolution slowly dies in our culture, you're going to see real vehement attacks. I mean, people get fired from universities like this for daring to question evolution. It's a dying religion, folks. You ought to get off the bandwagon, okay? Scientists who go about claiming evolution as a fact of life are great con men. The story they are telling is the greatest hoax ever. In explaining evolution, we do not have one iota of fact. Fred Hoyle, famous astronomer from Europe, said the only way life could have come into existence is because some superintelligence having created it. Well, we could talk for hours on this one. Let me get back to where we were if we got a few seconds left here. Okay. Let's see. And get to where we were. All evidence has been proven wrong. I stick by my guns. There are no beneficial mutations. But it looks to me like he wants it both ways here. He wants to say 7 generations of inbreeding will wipe out the variability, and then he turns it around and says there's not enough time to get all these variations we have. I think he's arguing out of both sides of his mouth there. Oh. I cover, let's see, I did not get into some levels of some other examples of lies in the textbooks that are used to support the evolution theory. How much time? Textbooks tell the kids that the horse evolved from a 4-toed horse, okay? This biology book admits this included much repeated gradual evolution of the modern horse has not held up to close examination. 50 years ago, G.G. Simpson, a very famous brand name evolutionist, said the evolution of the horse family was unintentionally falsified. It's been proven for 50 years the horse story that's in your textbooks is not true, but they're still teaching it. Simpson said the uniform continuous transformation of the horse series basically never happen in nature, but they say they have evidence. This is one of the best evidences used for evolution. Darwin considered this the best piece of evidence for his theory. He said the embryo growing in a human has gills. This textbook says the presence of fish-like structures in embryos of different species shows that these animals have evolved from fish and share the basic pattern of fish development. They want you to think that's gills like a fish? That's simply a lie, folks. That's been proven wrong 128 years ago. Those are not gills. Those little folds of skin develop into bones in the ear and glands in the throat. They never have anything to do with breathing. I've seen people that have 5 or 6 chins and they can't breathe through any of them but the top one, okay? This is simply a lie. Haeckel read Darwin's book the year after it came out when it was translated to German, and Haeckel said, wow, what a great theory. This gets rid of God. If only we had some evidence for this theory. And Ernst Haeckel, an embryology professor at the University of Jena in Germany, lied. He took a drawing of a dog and a human, and he lied, he changed him, he made them look alike. Here are the actual drawings. These are his fake drawings. He changed all sorts of things to make them look alike. Haeckel made giant charts of his fake drawings and traveled all over Germany and held seminars on why everybody should believe in evolution. Actually, here are Haeckel's drawings compared to actual photographs taken a couple years ago. He lied. My point is, this is still being used in textbooks today as evidence for evolution. I care. I think some other people care too. Get the lies out of our books. My point is, if you have some evidence for evolution, then show me. But don't lie to the kids. Don't tell them the embryo. Officer, if you can keep it in line, please, okay? I don't want to have to waste my time. We'll be glad to take questions, okay? But grow up a little bit, wait your turn, okay? This is simply a lie, but it's used in textbooks all over the world. It was proven wrong in 1874. Here it is in a 94 textbook. Here another 94 textbook. Here's Tim Barra still teaching it. Ken Miller still teaching it in a 1998 textbook. I could talk for hours. I debated Ken Miller. Here's a 98 textbook used in Pensacola, Florida, still teaching the same lie. This one says they suggest evolution from a common ancestor because of the presence of gills. This is simply not true. Here's a 2001 textbook used for junior high saying that the similarities provide evidence that these three animals evolved from a common ancestor. Now look, that's not true. They don't provide such evidence. But the books teach this over and over and over. It's in books. I've been to 30 countries in all 49 states. It's in books all over the world, folks. They're teaching the same thing. They're saying it's not a human yet. It's a human at conception. Every doctor knows that. They teach it doesn't have gill slits. This is baloney. So if you have evidence for evolution, show me, but don't lie to these kids. Come on. We can go for hours and hours on lies in the textbooks. All I want is very simple. Get the lies out of the books. Then the books will be fine. There's a lot of good science in the books. We're not against science. But we're against supporting a lousy theory with false ideas, that's all. Let's just teach the truth. Teach science to the kids, and I think you'll find evolution will have to slowly slip through the cracks, and that's what they're really worried about. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have a question and answer time now, and Dr. Trivers is going to receive the first question. He's going to have about 2 minutes. We're not going to hold him real tight to that, but we're about 2 minutes to answer the question, to finish responding, or if you respond sooner, that's fine. And then Dr. Hoven's going to have an opportunity to comment on that, and then we'll go back and forth, and for approximately a half hour for the question and answer period. So I hope your question gets in, but obviously we couldn't get all the questions. There must be like 100 questions there, so. All right. I'm going to get this microphone. Thank you. I got to give the questioners.
Our first question will be for Dr. Trivers. Dr. Trivers? How would you explain fossilized clams on top of Mount Everest?
Oh, I see. Okay, now it's working. Question is, how would I explain fossilized plants on Mount Everest? And assuming there are fossilized plants on Mount Everest, I wouldn't have any great difficulty. What's that? What did I say?
Fossilized clams.
What did I say? Huh? Plants. Yeah, what did I say? It's clams we're talking about? Oh, okay. So that we're all on the same page, the question has to do with fossilized clams, not plants on Mount Everest. And I say, assuming that such exist, then I'd have to understand the geological history of the mountain. If you're a recent creationist, it all happened 6,000 years ago, and everything else is a lie, then mountains haven't changed an awful lot except for this enormous scouring of water that took place in this deluge, unless you believe another fantasy that the water was hidden away inside and popped out, or another fantasy of Dr. Hoven's that it all came in a meteor with water until it was shown that that would be vaporized. It's well known that mountains rise through the tectonic forces that are generated by tectonic plates. So I'll just switch it. I don't know Mount Everest, never been there, but I have spent a lot of time in Jamaica, and it is well known that the mountain in Jamaica